Okay, next we are going to have a look on the area that we need to focus in order to improve the level of productivity and quality in construction industry. So basically there are 6 areas that we need to focus. So all these areas I extracted it from CITP, which has been studied by CIDB and developed by CIDB. This area is not being obtained from overseas or other countries. This is the current issues regarding our construction industry in Malaysia. Okay, so we need to have a look on something that are more relevant to us. Okay, so there are 6 areas. Okay, so I'm going to briefly explain on each areas. More detail about it, you can have a look on the notes and read by your own. If anything, you can ask me later on. Okay, on the first area is about continue investment in human capital development. So on this first area, we are talking about human capital development. So what are the issues or problem regarding our human capital development in Malaysia particularly? So basically, we have problems in terms of workers that have limited skills. Okay, so the training that has been provided also did not align with the skills required in the industries. Okay, so kita ada pekerja yang ramai tapi skill yang kita perlukan tu tak ada pada kesemua pekerja. Itu maksud dia. Itu problem dia sekarang. If, for example, like we are talking about IBS, okay, Industrial Building System. We want to implement IBS in our country, but in order to implement IBS, we need skills, but we are lacking of workers who have a knowledge on how to use IBS. Okay, that's the problem. So what we need to do is that we have to improve the training. Okay, the training that has been provided. So the training that will be provided must be aligned with the current needs of the industries. Okay, for example, like the industry requires workers who have knowledge on IBS. So we need to create more training on IBS, for example. Okay, we have done that a lot, especially from CIDB. Okay, we even CIDB have developed what we call it as an IBS center. Okay, so they can gain more knowledge and provide training over there as well. So that's one thing about training. Okay, another thing we are talking about maybe the curriculum development universities level. Okay, so we can integrate some of the elements that are very important in the construction industry in the curriculum. Okay, in the curricula of universities program, especially on the construction related program. Okay, that's why we have to monitor our program, we have to revise our program, to review our program every few years, so that whatever we teach the student is still relevant in the with the industries. Okay, so again we required participation from the industry people. Okay, so that's the main thing. Okay, that's the first area. The second area we are talking about enhanced control and balance of workforce supply. Okay, here we are talking about workforce supply, whereby in Malaysia, as you can see, as we have discussed on the previous slide, construction industry is relying on labor intensive method. Okay, means that we need a lot of workers in when we are doing our works. So however, our local people are reluctant to work in the construction industry. So means that we need to hire foreign workers. We need to bring them to our countries to work in the construction industry. So without their help, perhaps our construction industry is not being or our country is not being developed as today. Okay, so we need contribution from the foreign workers. Okay, the main problem is that when we bring foreign workers, we bring a lot of unskilled foreign workers. That's the problem. Okay, so we have to train them. Okay, we have to monitor them. We have to supervise them when they are doing works. So for example, like we bring some Indonesian, okay, in our country. Okay, maybe dekat Indo dulu dia orang kerja buat benda lain. Okay, buat bakso ke whatever. Sampai Malaysia kita suruh ikat batu-bata, plaster dinding dan sebagainya. So when we do that, perhaps at the initial stage we can monitor when they are doing their works, but sampai bila kita nak tengok dia orang kerja. So indirectly will impact the work quality of works of our projects. Okay, because we bring a lot of unskilled workers in our country. So what we can do in order to overcome this problem is that we need to improve uh, our system in bringing foreign workers to our country. Okay, make it tight. make it difficult for the construction companies to bring foreign workers. Okay, buat susah sikit. Okay, for example, like most of developed countries like Singapore, even in Australia, okay, they make it difficult for the construction company to bring workers, foreign workers. If you still want to bring foreign workers, you have to bring skilled workers. So that's the requirement in most of developed countries around the world. So they still will bring foreign workers, but they are going to bring skilled workers. Okay, so if you still want to bring foreign workers, you must bring skilled workers to our country. Okay, so make it difficult. Okay, improve visa program, so make it difficult. For example, like you can ask the workers to take Malay test, for example, bahasa Melayu punya ujian. Okay, because when you want to work in overseas, you have to take English test. Okay, English test. But in Malaysia, kalau you nak kerja kat Malaysia, tak ada apa test pun you kena ambil. Okay, kecuali ujian kesihatan lah. Alright, so is one of the way you can consider. Okay, of course Indonesia tak ada masalah nak bawa masuk dari segi bahasa, but other countries, okay, so you need to make sure that we can practice something that have been being practiced by other countries. Okay, for example like Singapore and also Australia. Okay, when you want to work there, you have to take English test. So that's the second area. Okay, the third area is about accelerate adoption of ABS mechanization and modern practices. Okay, this is one of the main issue lah dekat Malaysia ni sekarang, especially when we talk about ABS. Okay, ABS ni dah lama kat Malaysia. Okay, it's more than 30 years in Malaysia. Since 1960s, IBS has been introduced in Malaysia, tapi dia punya level of implementation masih rendah. Okay, so why the implementation of IBS is still low? Because a lot of issues, okay, regarding knowledge. We already comfort with our traditional practice, kita reluctant to change. Okay, mahal antara alasan dan sebagainya. Banyak problems lah at the initial stage of IBS implementation in Malaysia. And other things about the IBS, why IBS is being slow in Malaysia, because previously we don't have much manufacturers. Okay, and that will make price increase, sebab bila kalau manufacturers tak banyak, harga akan melambung. Okay, that's why IBS ni mahal pada peringkat awalnya dulu. But currently we have more manufacturers, dah banyak, so issues cost is not the main issue anymore. Okay, it's about nak ke tak nak je kita ubah. Okay, so a lot of effort has been done by the government to promote IBS in Malaysia. So a lot of policies, a lot of initiative taken by the government to enhance the use of IBS, the usage of IBS in Malaysia. Okay, number 4 is about roll out technology advantage across project life cycle. So we are talking about technology. So we need to find a better way to manage our project from A to Z. Okay, one of the way is by using BIM, Building Information Modeling. Okay, yang BIM ni masih baru dekat Malaysia. I think is about 5 or 6 years ago kita start implement BIM in Malaysia, but in other countries is already widely used. So do you know what is BIM? Okay, BIM ni is a software that we can manage our project from A to Z. Daripada awal sampailah project tu habis, kita boleh gunakan software saja. Okay, paperless, tak ada paper dan sebagainya, drawing apa semua is on the one single software. So that's what we call it BIM. Nanti you belajar more, I think, on project planning part 6 so nanti. So when you use BIM, when you want to use BIM in Malaysia, of course it's still new. A lot of issues. Okay, knowledge tak ada lagi, expertise tak ada, software dia masih mahal. Okay, masih banyak isu when we talking about new things that we want to implement in Malaysia. So what we can do, again, CIDB have done a lot of things in promoting the use of BIM in Malaysia. Even they create BIM center dekat Keras, I think. Ada facilities, lab facilities that have BIM software on it. So maybe kita can consider to give some subsidies when we want to buy the software of BIM. Okay, even we are creating a collaboration between JKR in order to create a BIM center dekat our faculty. So maybe in the future, after PKP ni, maybe kita boleh utilize the facilities in Block D in our faculty to use BIM. Okay, Area number 4, we are talking about strategic information via National Consortium Industry Information Center, NCIIC. So here, when we're talking about strategic information, we are talking about database. Okay, sebab bila contoh tadi kita nak pakai BIM, when we want to use BIM, we need database. Okay, so bila kita nak pakai software ni, kita perlu, we need strong database. Kita nak extract data senang, everything is on the finger click. Okay, senang. Okay, kalau ada strong database. Kalau tak ada, susah. Okay, contoh for example like if you pernah tengok tender document, it's very thick, right? Okay, you have to include price for every single item dalam tu. Okay, so kadang-kadang you kena refer tender lama yang tebal dan sebagainya, kena contact supplier, it takes time. Okay, you make your decision will be delayed because you takes time to make a certain to get information. Okay, so as you can see nanti dalam slide ada satu link tu, you can click on that link, you can see that CIDB has create satu information center whereby you can get labor rate, wage rates of the workers, price of material dan sebagainya. So on the finger click saja. So sebab nowadays we are talking about IR 4.0. Okay, so if possible everything must be on the database lah. So it's much easier for us to carry out our process. And the last one is advanced SME, small medium enterprise, Bumiputera capacity and capability building. Okay, the issue here is that we have a lot of SMEs in Malaysia. Okay, kita ambil kontraktor lah. Okay, kontraktor in Malaysia, we have grade G1 to G7. Okay, G6, G7 is we consider is a big companies. Okay, whereby SMEs contractors will be between G1 to G5. Okay, yang size small and medium ni. Okay, so 90% of contractors in Malaysia are SMEs. Okay, 90%, banyak. So bila company ni dah small medium, of course issue dia adalah dia don't have much capital to invest on technology. Nak suruh guna ABS pun tak ada budget dan sebagainya. So what we can do is that we can actually has been done a lot by the government to ask them to be more help to create grants, okay, bagi kemudahan grant, pinjaman untuk Bumiputera companies, especially to become IBS manufacturers, for example. Okay, if you can do a loan, you can collaborate, okay, between companies, okay, so that you can do something big together. Okay, kalau tak boleh buat seorang. Okay, so because we need to have more big companies in Malaysia, because big company ni maksudnya dia boleh datang in one package. Okay, for example, I can give you example like Sunway Group. Okay, Sunway Group. Okay, under Sunway Group, they have a lot of subsidiaries companies. They have Sunway Construction, they have Sunway Piling, they have their own developers, even they have IBS manufacturers sendiri. Okay, so company overseas, of global company ni, bila dia orang dah masuk Malaysia, dia orang datang dalam package begitu. Okay, come in with package. Okay, kat Malaysia ni tak banyak. Okay, so kita kena create more companies yang boleh datang dengan package begitu. Okay, so that's 6 areas here that we need to focus in order to enhance the level of productivity and quality in the construction industry. So you can have a look more information on the full notes that I upload in the future. Okay.